Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, joining me is my fantasy series co-host, Casey. We'll be discussing Envy, written by J.R. Ward. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm so excited to share today's sponsor because you know I love a good mystery title. We even feature one right here on the podcast every single month. So I'm always on the hunt for the next read we can feature on the podcast. So when I had this opportunity to check out this website, I knew it was an absolute great find, and I also knew that I had to share it with you. Today's episode is sponsored by I Found This Great Book. It's a directory of Black mystery authors featuring over 580 titles. If you're a fan of audiobooks like me, browse the 175 books in the directory that are available in audio format. Browse by author, style of mystery, including hard-boiled, cozy, supernatural, and more, or even browse like in a bookstore and scroll through the books until you see cover art that jumps out at you. Visit the special link especially for Shelf Addiction listeners by visiting ifoundthisgreatbook.com/Shelf Addiction. Support Shelf Addiction by supporting our sponsor, so head on over to ifoundthisgreatbook.com/Shelf Addiction and peruse the directory of Black mystery authors. The link is also in the show notes. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and welcome to Book Chat here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Participate in this discussion by joining the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. I hope to hear your thoughts on today's topic. You can always find me and Casey on Twitter and Instagram. The links for everything I've mentioned are below in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with some book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That would really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing so. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including after shows and more. So if you're interested in that at all, you'll need to come on over to Patreon and sign up. Without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back to another fantasy series read-along discussion. Today we are talking about the third book in the Fallen Angel series, Envy. Yay! And for this fun discussion, joining me as always is my fantasy series read-along co-host, Casey from Heartful of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! I'm glad you're here. Yes, it's always a good time. It's always a good time.
It is. It really is.
I love it. So let me give you the stats on Envy if you guys are not familiar, so you know what's going on.
Yes.
Envy was first published on September 1st, 2011 by Signet, and the audiobook was published by Brilliance Audio. The audiobook is narrated by Eric G. Dove, and it has an unabridged runtime of 14 hours and 1 minute. The mass market paperback is 454 pages, so another chunker from J.R. Ward. As expected. So, Casey, would you hit us with the synopsis, please?
Absolutely. A man and a woman tread the lines of danger, desire, and deliverance in this novel of the Fallen Angels from the #1 New York Times best-selling author of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. As the son of a serial killer, homicide detective Thomas DeVecchio Jr. grew up in the shadow of evil. Now on the knife edge between civic duty and blind retribution, he atones for the sins of his father while fighting his inner demons. Assigned to monitor Vec is Internal Affairs Officer Sophia Riley, whose interest in him is both professional and arousingly personal. As Vec and Sophia have another link, Jim Heron, a mysterious stranger with too many answers to questions that are deadly. When Vec and Sophia are drawn into the ultimate battle between good and evil, their fallen angel savior is the only thing that stands between them and eternal damnation. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Okay, so installment 3.
Yes.
Are you still enjoying it?
Yes, I am. I really, really loved this book.
Yay! I feel like the further we get along, the more I believe the love interest for me.
Yes. This one was definitely more believable than the last one. Absolutely. I still stand by the fact that our last couple from book 2 are getting divorced in like the next 10 to 20 years. Like, they're not lasting. But Sophia and Vic, yeah, they're in it for the long haul. They're together forever.
Oh yeah. I
Really
love
believe
it. Like they both call each other by their last names and don't know how to cook. They're awesome.
Yes. Perfect match.
And what else is like the best, that he's kind of a little bit scared of her daddy. That is going to keep him in line. That's awesome.
Yes. Yes. Her parents were the best, by the way. Like,
yes.
Her parents are the best. But yeah, no, they were the perfect match. I truly believed that, yeah, they're in it for the long haul together. They're one and done. And I believe, even though it was a really fast love story for the two of them, like they hopped into bed real fast, or popped onto the couch, I guess, real fast.
Right.
Like, it was still believable. It still felt authentic and, yeah, believable.
Yeah, totally. I have no complaints about their love story. It was super cute. And I liked Vec too. I actually liked him as a character, and I felt bad for him. I'm like, damn, your daddy's a serial killer? That's the worst. That's the worst.com.
The opening scene, like with him standing over the dead body, and his first line of dialogue was, "Tell me, did I do this? Like, did I kill you?" I was like, damn.
Yeah, like, what?
What the fuck? And
yeah.
That description of blood was just, oh my God. I need to send that to all of my clients. Just be like, this is how you describe things. This is what I mean when I say I want descriptions, because it was on point. J.R. Ward knows how to fucking write anything. Like, she
does.
Amazing.
That was a gory scene, and you could tell. It was. You could feel it.
No, it was so emotional and scary in the fact that Vec didn't know what the fuck happened. Like, he's like, did I do this? Did I hurt you? And yes, loved Vec. And
then he calls 911. He calls the police. He's like, I think I might have did this. So, and they're like, okay, Officer Delvecchio, how about you just stand over here?
Let's check you out. Check your blood. Let's make sure there's nothing on your hands. Which I was like, shouldn't there be some on his hands if he was touching the guy's wounds with his jacket? But I'll let that pass, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's totally innocent. He's totally not the one.
No.
He felt it so deep inside. He's like, I killed this man.
Well, and later we find out, I mean, we knew kind of in the beginning, but it was like restated later when he takes a polygraph. He intended to kill that guy. He wanted to kill that guy.
He wanted to, but didn't.
Right.
A vampire did.
Yes. I'm like, ooh, vampires? She crossed them already. I'm like, vampires.
Okay, so I was hoping that it was Butch, because De La Cruz, his detective partner, was the cop from Dark Lover.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
So there was crossover there. He worked with Butch. He knew Butch. Like, they had that working relationship. And I was like, was it Butch? Was it Butch? Was it Butch? And I was just waiting for Butch to pop out of the forest. And he didn't come out of the forest. And I was like, what is happening? Where is my Butch?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I was waiting for that explanation, but it never came. And that, I guess, would be my one disappointment with this book, is that Butch didn't come out of
the Well, you know, in this world, you know, well, I guess the same in the other world, the humans don't really know about vampires. So unless, you know, the angels decided to out them to, you know, Vec or somebody.
Yeah. Now
they wouldn't know.
They'll keep believing that it's...
they're like, it's an animal attack.
Or wolf or something.
I mean, honestly, this guy is tore up, and it looked like, you know, gashes in him. And they look at him, they're like, there's nothing on you, really. I don't know why you think you did this.
Your blade is clean. Like, it hasn't bleached in the last 10 minutes.
Right. So, but that was great. I loved it. It did start off with a bam, and then, you know, in with a bang, I guess. And then, you know, when Sophia came on the scene, she was like, I liked her personality. Like, she didn't feel like over the top at all. She was just a internal affairs officer, like doing her job, like investigating. And you know what, like human women do, you're like, damn, he kind of cute, but damn, did he kill somebody? He cute, but he can kill somebody. Oh my God.
She definitely went in thinking he was more guilty than not. Then she did her job. And she did it thoroughly. And she's like, no, I don't think he did it. And here's all the evidence to prove that he didn't do it.
Yeah. And then when you think she's on the same page with him, one person drops a little nugget in her ear. And then all of the, you know, belief in him pretty much fled out of the window. Gone, just gone. Yeah. And she's like, oh no, he tricked me. He did it. I'm like, girl.
That was a little much. That was a little like, come on. Trust your man a little more than that. Like,
like she gave him no benefit of the doubt at all.
None. Not a single one. Which kind of sucked. But, you know, he forgave her in the end.
He did. I wouldn't have. Because I'm that bitter bitch that would be like, you thought I fucking killed somebody. And you hung, like, basically you told me don't bother me ever again in life.
Yeah, so, like one nugget of doubt and I'm out to dry. What's to say, you know, something doesn't happen later? Is it going to be, are you going to hold my dad over my head for the rest of my life?
Right.
And then, I guess like, that showdown kind of proves that he's not a killer.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And
like,
then the one thing she wants to also top the cake with the cherry is he started smoking again. He lied. He's smoking. I'm like, girl.
No. Oh my God, that lie.
Like he just agreed to stop smoking and now he's being interrogated. Yes, the man is going to get a cigarette.
Yes, like it was 12 hours. He quit for 12 hours and then you bring him. He's going to go back to one of his vices.
She like, he lied to me about smoking. I'm like, girl.
No, just sit your ass down. Go back to therapy. Learn how to trust people.
Yeah. It was crazy. I'm like, that one piece. I'm like, really? Are we really going here about these cigarettes? Is that the most serious concern?
Sure it was in the moment, but like, yeah, good God, no.
Oh my gosh. And like, despite everything, like he managed to forgive her for that, you know, and they end up together with a happily ever after. But it was a road because, you know, the war is going on during all of this, and he is the soul in this book that he's, you know, they're fighting over. And Davina, again, she always has the one up. She's always got her claws into these people before, you know, they're even able to come to the battleground about it. So she always has a one up. She
was in Vec from basically birth. So decades before Jim Heron ever appeared on the scene, Davina was already like, yep, I got this. I'm gonna win this round, and thankfully she didn't.
I mean, how does a grown man walk around for decades with a double shadow and not realize it?
Have you ever looked at your shadow? Because I realized reading this book.
I have, but not like on purpose. Let me see my shadow. But like every once in a while, you know, you come to your car, you know, you just happen to have things. You look and you can see your shadow. So I'm like, how do you? True. I don't know.
Magic, wave it away. He never looks down. He's too busy for the world.
But he knows something wrong. He covered mirrors in his house. He like, he knows something's wrong. Like, Why are you covering mirrors? What do you think is in there? What's happening?
Your other shadow. It's there.
I don't know. It's kind of like, okay. But yeah, I mean, I still, even with those little quirks, I still liked Vec. I'm still like, okay, I believe it. He's got enough drama going on with his daddy. He's probably thinking, he's doesn't want to be like him. So he's constantly fighting this urge, or maybe not even an urge, but a fear that he could be like him. So maybe that's what he thinks he sees. I don't know, but
yeah, I think it was there were a couple scenes where he heard voices, and it was definitely like Davina's voice kind of coming out of the shadows, so to speak, and he'd freak out a little bit and then, like cover the mirrors, stay away from everything, and just be like, yeah, no, I heard something, but I don't know.
Like that one scene when he got in the shower?
Yes. It was so creepy.
And he's like feeling stuff like on him. Like he feels, I'm like, he's screaming bloody murder. Like, oh my God. I'm like, oh shit. I think the house was haunted and run the fuck out of there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no.
She's doing stuff to him.
You hear something.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like
and also
messing with his mind.
Can I just add really quickly? He puts stuff over mirrors, but he doesn't know how to hang up curtains or blinds or anything. And he just walks around his house naked. And anybody looking in his window can just see him walking around naked. And I'm like, damn, son.
Look, and Sophia's sitting outside in the car. And she like, dang. She like, is this real? Oh my gosh. She like, look at that body. Wow. I mean, I probably wouldn't look away either if I was sitting there.
I would look through the window. If I was his neighbor, I would have a chair by my window and just watch.
Be like,
I'd be a creep. I would be a creep.
I mean, because according to, J.R. Ward's description, he had his stuff together, all the way together. No person would look away. If you are a gay male or a straight female or whatever, bi female, you are going to be looking at him
watching. Because
yes, he had no problem getting women as well, which it was clear, he... Although he had problems with, groupies and stuff.
And people who are obsessed with his dad. And one woman had a tattoo of his dad's face on her. And I was like, yeah, that would scar me. That would be really, really creepy.
Oh, yeah. But he had no problems. And then it was like later to figure out that one police officer with air quotes was actually Davina, like coming to like flirt with him every day, or like, giving him a coffee. That one girl or woman was Davina.
Brittany. Well, no. Brittany was real. Davina just copied her.
Yeah.
When she went after the mashed potato man, which I'm sorry, but that is like the best description. I love J.R. Ward for making a white man say, I look like mashed potatoes. Like, I love her for that.
And he did look like mashed potatoes. Apparently, he looked like shit. And then Davina was like, oh, I actually did a good deed because, she's like giving this guy. Yes, like, here, let's just, act like you're worth something and act like people love you and you're fine. Go off, sir, and have some sex. Good luck. Basically, she's like, look, I did something nice.
Which was surprising. Davina did something nice. Her therapist would be so proud.
Oh my God, right?
I'm sad we didn't get to see her in therapy, but I'm really glad she kept talking about her therapist and how she's working with her therapist, and her therapist was giving her good advice for letting things go.
Oh my God.
That she twisted into her own demented demon ways. But yeah.
Yes.
The demons in therapy.
Yes.
I think Vec should go to therapy too.
Yes, I agree. He needs it. And I definitely was glad that, speaking of Davina, that we didn't get another scene underground in
Oh,
hell,
yes.
because I feel like after we got that dose last book, thank you for giving us a break from that this book.
Yeah. Did not just, nope. It was bad enough that Jim went down there willingly and made that deal with her to get Vec's name. But it was still
Yeah.
just like, oh God, this is rough.
I know. And then I'm like, well, she told the truth. And she kept telling him, I didn't lie. Where's my prize? And he
Mhm.
like, bitch, I'm never gonna fuck you. I was just
He's like,
bullshitting.
I lied this time.
I lied. And she like, how dare you lie to me? Like, whatever. He had such a good time, like, sticking it to her. Like,
Yes.
that's a knife. He hates her. Like, and I don't
He
blame
hates her
him.
so much, which is good. Like,
Yeah.
everybody should hate her. But
Yeah.
I really appreciated the fact that this is envy, off the seven deadly sins. But the envy wasn't Vec, and it wasn't about Vec. It was about Davina. And
Davina, yes.
Davina dealing with her envy of
Yes.
the love and the romance and the relationships that everybody else is getting. And she's alone with all of her
Yes.
stuff.
And even like Jim noticed that. He's like, "Oh, you wish that was you? You thought we was like, he like, and they love calling her bitch. Like,
Never.
damn, never. Like, you can just hold on to that hope forever, because yeah, that's not going to be you and me anytime ever.
Never.
So
ever.
don't even
Like,
let it go.
nah, son. It's done. You're dead.
Oh my God.
We have two
yeah.
souls to your one. We're winning. Like,
Right. Yeah. And that's what it is. This whole book, she said it like distinctly two different times, that she felt envious about the relationship that Sophia and Vec had, or like something he would say to her, or, she was very jealous and wanted it for herself. And Jim, like, I don't know why she is obsessed with Jim, because she could not break him. And that's why she is obsessed with him.
He has a really good dick. Like, she's obsessed with the dick. But yeah, she couldn't break him. And he's kind of like Vec. He's bordering that good bad line. Like, he's kind of yin and yang. He did a lot of bad shit, but he's also really good. And he's the savior. He's basically Jesus Christ, as they kept implying during this book over and over again. Like, she's has a little bit of good in her too, like we saw with Mashed Potato Man. Like, she is attracted to that, because nobody's fully evil or good, and she wants the good in him to come into her too.
Yeah, I think she does. literally.
Yeah.
I mean, she would consume him if she could. If she could suck him into her body, like, permanently, she would do it.
The way he went into Vec at the end, and they were like, all one thing. Yeah, she wants that.
And I mean, Ward also never ceases to forget to remind us what Davina really looks like, because we get these passages where, like, her look will slip, and you be like, "Oh, that bitch ugly."
She's this demonic monster with scales and claws and wings. And then she's like, "No, I want to be a pretty woman with big boobs and a big ass."
Right. And she lets it slide right over her like a glove, and she looks like something new. But when she gets too upset or too outraged, too, it's like it can just
emotional,
fall away. Yeah. Like, oh man, that is a nightmare. She is someone's nightmare. And I love that, like, that's not lost. Like, she is evil with a capital E, and she stays that way. And, like, she did one nice thing for some random dude that helped her out, but that doesn't negate the fact that she is bad.
Evil. No, it doesn't negate anything. And she's very much, she's a diverse character in the sense that, she does something good, but she also does something bad. And then she goes to therapy, and her therapist talks her through an issue that a normal person would have. But then Davina twists it around and it's like, I can't let go of this earring because it was somebody who I murdered. And I want to keep that momentum because I'm a serial killer. But my therapist said, it's okay to let go of possession. So let me let go. Like it's so humanizing while still being demonic.
Fucked up. Yeah, that whole
beautiful
scene.
at it.
Yeah. That whole scene, you guys. So she's trying to plant evidence in the police, little thing. That's how she helped the police officer that looked like mashed potatoes that let her in under a guise of someone else. She was wearing someone else's body, basically. And so while she's in there, she was playing this tug of war with herself to let go of the earring that she wanted to plant. And she's like, I don't have a lot of time left. This dude's going to be back. I got to talk myself through it to let it go. I'm like, girl.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was fun. It was wild. It humanized her, but also, showed how evil she was because it was Sissy's earring. And Sissy is the version that Jim Heron has kind of like made his, and I'm using air quotes because he like didn't meet her until after she was butchered by Davina. And now he's like, I have to save this virgin girl's soul and set her free from hell. And he had this whole thing in this book about she's my girl, she's my Sissy, she's mine. But also like,
and I feel like that's borderline kind of getting a little bit weird. Like, Jim, I understand you wanting to rescue this virginal girl who looks so pitiful. You know what I mean? I get it. But even like that's where he ran into problems with like Eddie and Adrian. They're like, dude, get a fucking grip. This one chick who is already dead. You can't do anything about her. We need to win the war. And then she will be let go. It's like, focus instead of like flailing all over the place, which he like that, somehow Sissy's story got entangled in this other story. And the two really had nothing to do with each other, but because they wanted to like
make it happen.
Right.
Was
just
planting the evidence for Sissy,
exactly.
the different serial killer. Beck and Sophia were the cops who are like, let me search into this missing woman case. Jim's showing up like, I have to talk to her mother. I have to swear to her mother that everything's going to be fine. Yeah. And like, it shouldn't have been together, but.
And if I remember correctly, didn't she plant that because she thought that would flush Jim out? Because he had some kind of thing going where she couldn't track him. And she's like, where did he go? And so she's like, well, if I do this, I know this will bring him back out because he is desperate to help Sissy. He is desperate to find out about this.
Yes. So Jim is a lot more powerful than anybody is realizing, even Jim and Nigel and the angels upstairs and angels downstairs and everyone. Like, he just said, okay, I'm going to go be on my own and disappear. And then he like literally disappeared. Nobody could find him, which was why Davina is like, oh my God, my boyfriend is gone. I have to find him. let me dangle this version out here and see if he comes running.
That's exactly it. Like, where's my
man? She's like, I can't feel him. I can't find him. I need him.
What a mess.
Him running. He did it. He played to the fiddle or whatever the phrase is.
She knows how to yank his chain, that's for sure.
Yes.
Even though I think he's starting to slowly figure out, like, with him lying to her and kind of like laughing in her face. Like, I feel like he's starting to figure out like her game, like the bigger game. Which is good, but Sissy is still a big kink in his armor and could really cause big problems for him.
So do you think the Sissy situation has died down, or do you think it's going to keep going through the rest of the series?
Oh, yeah. Hell, we're not done. We're not done because so like, they found her body, but as far as Jim's concerned, he wants her out that wall. He wants her from down there. And I think he came to see Sissy's mother to kind of like assure her that he had her back, like Sissy's back. and will protect her. So it's definitely not done.
So there was this moment where they're in the house and Jim was like drawn to a photo of Sissy, because of course he was, but she was looking all serious and fierce and whatever. And her mom came up and she's like, yeah, we took that picture because she played like field hockey or something. I forget the game, but she's like, yeah, no, she was always there for her teammates and she was super fierce and better than anybody gave her credit for. And I was like, oh shit, is her soul gonna come out and like come out swinging and start fighting Davina?
I mean, I don't like, I'm trying to remember what happened with her. I feel like there might be something, but I don't really remember the details. They're lost. Like, I read this so long ago. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we're not done with Sissy. I feel like she's going to do something in some kind of way. Kind of like she came out and kind of helped Jim in that moment when he was down there. Like, yeah. So, I don't know. I wish Jim had like something else. And I mean, I understand he needs something to rage about when it comes to Davina. And that is that thing is Sissy. You know, she is the thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, my Sissy, my da-da-da. I'm like, you've really like gotten really intense about this. Like, that's your woman or something. It's not.
He did call himself at one point. He's like, oh shit, I'm calling her mine, as if she's actually my woman. But that's not how I want her. Because again, there's a huge age gap between them. Mm-hmm. Like, he could be her father if he had a kid when he was a teenager.
Yes. So that's why I'm like, it's kind of borderline creepy, but it's like, I think he realizes it, but it's like, he doesn't really know how to turn it off. Like,
he doesn't, but I don't, like, as long as it doesn't go down that creepy road, eventually I'll be okay with it.
So I gotta talk about my homeboys, Eddie and Adrian.
Yes, oh God.
Okay, wait, before we do that, let's take a quick break, you guys, because we need a break to get my thoughts together for them.
Need a moment.
So yeah, we're going to take a break. You guys will hear some commercials from our sponsors. Definitely check out the books I have on Amazon. I actually ordered my own planner that I made. It's on Amazon right now. I have an undated planner. It's gorgeous. You guys, I'm going to be posting it on my Instagram. It's gorgeous. I love it. I can't wait to start writing in it. So between the book review journal, the challenge journal, and now undated planner, there are lots of things available to you. And you know, the nerd that I am, I hope you guys like them. So yeah, we'll be right back, and stay with us.
Need appliances? Don't wait for Black Friday. Get to Bray Friday, going on now at Bray & Scarf. Make your one-on-one VIP appointment for huge appliance savings in-store and online. Get doorbuster deals like a GE 27 cubic foot stainless steel French door refrigerator with fingerprint-resistant finish for just $15.99. Save $700. Don't miss the Bray Friday savings. Shop local at Bray & Scarf, where it doesn't cost more to get more.
Cloud is powering tomorrow's transformative missions. Federal agencies are partnering with SAIC to help them meet these critical moments, where bold moves require confident blueprints, where you can accelerate transformation through consistency, where you can innovate forward and never look back. SAIC quickly and securely migrates large-scale workloads to the cloud with the confidence you need to assure your mission. Learn more at saic.com/cloud.
Hi, I'm Dr. Andreas Michaelitis, Chief Psychologist at Noom. But what's Noom, and why does Noom need a Chief Psychologist? Noom is a weight loss program that works, with results that last, because we know that changing the way you eat starts with your mind. With Noom's proven psychology-backed tools, one-on-one coaching, and flexible plans that emphasize progress over perfection, you'll have the tools you need to change your relationship with food. So sign up at Noom.com now and lose the weight for good. That's Noom.com.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. All right, we're back, guys. I want to jump right back into Eddie and Adrian. Okay, look, y'all. Those two, I love them. They are best of best friends. Okay? In the book, it was pointed out later on by Nigel that Adrian has never been known to sleep with men. Okay? It was pointed out by Nigel. I don't think he rolls that way because he was very jealous when he thought his man might have been with Adrian. So the scene where Eddie and Adrian are doing it up in the bathroom with a girl, I'm like, there are some actions there between the two of them that
They're in love.
They're in love. He's like, oh, I know how to get him off. I'll help him out. I'm like, WTF? Like, what is happening? What's happening?
He's like, Eddie can have sex with other people, but he's for when he has sex with me. So let me go give him that safety. And let me help them both have all of these orgasms. Well, I can't even get my dick too depressed.
Girl, I'm like, what is that? What is happening? Because I'm like, I thought you were straight, Adrian. You're not.
Bi. He's bi. He's
gay for him. He's got the gay for him thing going. I don't know. But that whole scene, I'm like, my eyes are bugging out. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Now, before I thought it was strange that, they would be so into sex with the same girl before, I'm like, well, they doing a little touchy stuff, but this just got leveled up a lot. Like, damn.
The swords are not touching, but, touching.
Right. I'm like, okay, that's how we're rolling. Got it. Noted. Check the box. I'm like, okay. So after that, I'm like, oh, how sad. Like, okay, so we get the best friends for life, we know, but then something horrible happens. And it's shocking that, Eddie is taken out by a human
who's possessed by Davina.
Who's possessed, but he just gets like gutted by this random ass high ass human who is like on drugs and possessed.
And
and he just goes out. He's down for the count. He's dead. Like, damn,
he's dead.
He's dead.
I cried. I couldn't. I was so upset.
I felt bad. I'm like, dang, really? That's what we're doing? And Adrian, he about lost his mind.
Yeah, he lost the love of his life. Even their best friends, partial lovers, whatever. Like, it was the two of them for centuries. I think they've been together like 4 centuries or something.
Yeah.
I think we learned that in the last book. But yeah, no, they've been together for centuries, the two of them. And yeah, no, Adrian was just fucking devastated. And he's like, it would have been me. I was the one who was supposed to die. Like it was, I'm so heartbroken for him.
Yeah, I felt horrible. And I'm like, what's going to happen? And even like Nigel and them, they were like, oh no. Like, Eddie balanced Adrian. Like, Adrian's the loose cannon. And Eddie was like the stabilizer. What's going to happen when the stabilizer is gone?
Nothing good. Nothing good.
Yeah.
Adrian did calm down a bit. And he went into that like numb, calm, icy void of his. But that shit's not going to last. He's going to go after Davina really hard, really fast. And it's, I don't want Adrian to die either.
I don't want him to die. I feel like it's really not fair that Eddie died. Yeah, that wasn't fair at all. And again, Davina is running amok, breaking rules, doing what she wants. And it's like, no one is checking her. No one is checking her. But somehow Adrian was able to pull his shit together for this round. And what was his name? Not Nigel, but what's Nigel's boyfriend's name? Colin. Yes, Colin. He has had enough. He's like, this is some bullshit. I'm not just gonna stay up here and watch this shit go down. So I'm going to try to help. And he goes and he sits with Eddie. He stays there and watches his body so that Davina's her ass can't get a hold of him, because what would she have done if she had got his body?
She'd probably possess it and, in his body and be like, oh, look at me, I'm Davina.
Oh,
but
God.
Eddie, and no, I was glad Colin came down. I was glad Colin is breaking the rules. But you bring up a fun part about the creator not getting involved. So there is that scene about halfway through the book where Nigel goes to the creator and he's like, hey, God, so Davina's breaking all the rules. We kind of broke some rules too, but look at her. And apparently the creator looks at him and says, there's been a fight amongst our boys down below before Eddie died. Adrian and Eddie and Jim all fought, and Jim was like, oh, fine, I'll be alone. So you want to know my fun theory?
Sure.
I think Dog is God.
Like peeking in and watching?
They had that fight in front of Dog. Dog disappeared, and Jim's like, where did Dog go? Fine, I'll be alone. And then literally like the next chapter, the next page is Nigel going, well, I just talked to the creator, and the creator said they had this fight. And I'm like, it was Dog. Dog was there. Dog,
you know what? It could be. Time. I didn't even think of that like literally, because I just assumed like with most stories, God is omniscient, he just knows. But maybe he was Dog.
I mean, this is a special dog. I kept thinking it was Davina, but it's not Davina because she would have pulled some shit with it. But he just keeps appearing at like just the right times. And, he showed up right when Jim died back in book 1 for the very first time when he saw the dog. He gave the dog his turkey sandwich. Then he fell into the puddle and got electrocuted and died. And was, recruited to the war. So, like, that was the first time he saw a dog. Dog disappeared after the fight. He'll sometimes disappear, but then reappear. And, he reappeared later. I think when they were out at the quarry looking for Sissy's body, Dog just, like, appeared. I don't know.
Well,
I'm like,
either Dog is God or, the creator or whatever, or he's his proxy or something. Yeah. Because if you're going to talk about breaking rules, for him to be on the game board, so to speak, is completely breaking the rules.
He's not ever actually doing anything, though.
Yeah.
Like, he just sits around and he eats the pizza crust, or he lays at Jim's feet while Jim is researching. Like, he's not saying anything. So, yes, like, it is breaking the rules that he's on the board, but he's not actually, like, being a fallen angel, fellow warrior kind of thing. So I don't know. But yeah, it was, they had
That's a good theory.
Dog disappeared. Literally the next page, Nigel's going, yeah, I just went and talked to the creator and they had this fight. And I was like, who was there? Who saw this fight? Dog. Dog was right there.
Oh my gosh. That's a really good theory. Because oh my God, I never even thought of it. I never even thought of it. And I don't remember if he is or isn't.
I don't think this would ever be revealed because, she's edging into that he's Jesus thing, but never saying Jesus. And, she's kind of edging into that. It's God, but always saying the creator. Like, I don't know if she'll actually go into that because that might be.
No, I think it's the
religious.
Well, she's using the creator because, like, even when you think of like the scribe virgin, right, and all that other stuff, it's the creator over there too, right? It's not like God. So,
yeah, it's true.
But I mean, when you say the creator, that's who we're talking about, right? I mean, I guess it could be anybody's God, technically, anybody's highest level, any religion's highest level, I guess. A creator? I don't know.
I think she's trying to make it less Christian, but also still very Christian. I'm really not sure what she's doing. But yeah, that's my theory.
Yeah.
God is dog.
Because it's definitely got the, with the heaven and hell, right? It's got those themes going on, good and bad, heaven and hell, rules of engagement. But it's like she's trying to take the edge off of it being like religion-y, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So, I don't know. So we covered kind of those angels, the fallen angels. So what about what do you think about Nigel and Colin's relationship?
So it almost feels homophobic to me that they can't be openly together.
Like, why are they hiding?
Yeah.
They're hiding, but in plain sight. Everybody freaking knows.
Everybody freaking knows.
Yeah.
Colin doesn't even have his own house, or his tent is like literally a blanket on the floor. And but they can't openly acknowledge that they're together. And of course they have their whole falling out where you have to apologize to me. I'm not going to apologize to you. Bullshit. But yeah, I know.
That's what happens when you date the boss. Nigel is the boss of them. And Colin's like, yeah.
And Colin is very young and passionate and wants to help and wants to be on the battleground. And yeah.
And I mean, for some angels, right? I can't believe that Nigel is so jealous. Like, he is jealous of thinking that. So at the end there, Colin's taking a shower. He got some cute clothes out. He's getting ready for something. And Nigel's like, where are you going? He was like, is he going to hang out with Adrian? And that's when that that words come, that intent comes up. Well, I've never known Adrian to be with men, so maybe not, but I don't know, Colin is good looking. Maybe, maybe he flipped him. I don't know. Okay.
Well,
sure, Nigel.
Feeling the envy just like Davina.
Yeah.
And so we haven't seen him do anything really evil. He's kind of breaking the rules, which is bad for him. But the way we saw Davina do good in this book, we haven't seen Nigel do the opposite yet.
No.
And so I wonder if he's kind of on that same path as Davina, where is he going? Is he going to go more righteous and stay pure? And I use air quotes around that because that's his mindset. But or is he gonna deviate from the path?
Break the rules himself.
Keep breaking the rules.
I can see as far as the rules, so far he's kind of been a bystander. Colin's been doing more than Nigel. Nigel's kind of knowing that things are happening and not engaging, right? He's letting it happen. But maybe eventually Nigel will step in and do something that's a little bit gray. I don't think he'll ever do anything outright bad, but I do think he would undercut Davina in some kind of way that he wasn't supposed to. You know what I mean? Eventually he's gonna cave eventually. It takes is something bad enough, or they're 2 seconds from losing and he's desperate enough and he'll step in.
Or if Colin gets stabbed, maybe he'll step in then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like that the envy wasn't about our humans, but about the angels and the demons instead.
Yes, which is very unique because at first when you just assume it's going to be about the soul, right? The soul is envious. The soul that they are trying to fight over is the one that's going to have the problem with envy. And it's not at all. No.
And I really like that J.R. Ward is keeping it new and fresh with each book. It could become very repetitive is the only word that's come to mind. It could be, book one every single time. He was very greedy. He just wanted money. He just wanted stuff. He was greedy, and that was the first sin. And, you know, it could easily become every single book is just the deadly sin is the human. Let's watch this play out. Let's see who can fight and who can win. And like I said last time in book 2, I was really appreciative of the fact that Davina won, because that fucked with everybody's plans. Like,
Yeah.
that changed the course. That made it more personal for Jim to be like, oh shit, you know, it's not going to be an easy ride for me. She's going to win some souls, but I have to keep winning more. So yeah, no, I really like J.R. Ward and how she's keeping it new and interesting and fresh.
Yeah.
I also want to say her voice is very, very unique. And I don't think anybody could read this book in like 50 years and understand it, because there's so much just tongue in cheek. There's so much slang. There's so much that even though I was alive and an adult in 2011, I don't understand half the shit she's saying in here.
Really?
Well, maybe not half. There's like 10% where I'm like, wait, what was that? And I have to go look it up.
Yeah, she's definitely an acquired taste when it comes to, because her voice is very strong, like you said. And it sounds like even when I think I've mentioned this before in other conversation, but when I started the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, I'm like, what is this slang? I'm like, what is it? Like,
it's so harsh and almost dark, and but it's J.R. Ward and it's her voice. And if I picked up a book with her name on it that didn't have this, I'd be like, this is not J.R. Ward. You're lying to me. Yeah. But yeah, no, like the vernacular is changing so quickly that give it 20, 30 years.
I honestly love how brutal she is, like in her writing style. I love how, like, you know, yes, Davina is a demon, but she presents as a woman. But I love how she doesn't save anything. These other characters be calling her all kind of bitches. Like, I mean, you know, I think it's great. I'm like, damn, it's amazing. And it's like she writes everything kind of hard like that. It's like hard writing, but then when you get in these sex scenes, it's like very erotic writing. She goes hard in everything. Like,
oh yeah, she does not hold back.
No.
And yeah, if you don't like serial killers, definitely skip the scene where Vec goes and talks to his dad, because that was rough.
Yeah.
Like, it was just him talking about being a serial killer, and I was like getting sick to my stomach. Like, oh God, people listen to true crime podcasts and
I love it.
They follow these people for fun. Like, ew.
I would never do that. Actually, you know what? No. People who follow serial killers are not the same people that like true crime podcasts. People who follow serial killers are sick in the head, and they have obsessive natures about these people doing awful things. True crime listeners, to be fair, I think are more interested in the whole story and the victims, and if justice was reached, you know what I mean? They don't care. They're, well, at least because you know I'm in a podcast group too.
Yes.
And whenever we whenever we listen to a podcast series that has to do with serial killers, no one is praising the serial killer. Nobody.
Okay, good. Okay.
Nobody. They're like, how did they get away with this? They're like, what the hell? You know, it's like you're trying to break down like what happened. No, those are two different camps.
Because I grew up in a small town in Florida called Tallahassee, and that's where Ted Bundy did some of his work.
Okay.
And so when I was young, my dad took me around in a car, and he's like, this is where Ted Bundy crawled into a woman's window. And I was like, you are scarring me for life, sir. Please stop. I don't want to hear this. And so I stay away from all of that, because I'm like, I've driven by the house. I don't want to know more than this. Like,
I wouldn't even want to
I'm
drive by
scarred.
the house. Like, I'm cool with a bunch of degrees of separation. So if I'm listening to a podcast, guess what? I never met any of these people. I never seen any of these people's homes. I'm good with that huge amount of degrees of separation in between. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, like it was a drive by, and I was like, nope. And then people started talking about him on the internet, and I'm like, nope. I'm out.
Nope.
I'm tapping out, Uncle. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, did you ever suspect the detective Bales as being one of those Legion
followers? Yeah, no,
obsessed?
I didn't. That was kind of like, you got me.
He always felt off and weird to me, but I just assumed he was Davina.
See, I didn't think he was Davina, but I did think it was weird. Like at the one point where he like kind of unloads on Sophia, like, just to let you know. I'm like, why are you telling her all this stuff? Like,
yeah, no, that was super suspicious. He was like, I helped move and I saw this box and there was something in the box, and she like believes him over Beck. And the whole time, even from the beginning, he was always just kind of like there and watching and kind of obsessive about Beck. He's like, he's my best friend. I have to protect him. We're best buds. And I was like, is this Davina? This feels like Davina. So I never assumed the father figure part, because I was like, no, it's just Davina. And I was like, oops. I missed the other bad guy in this
And
book.
he definitely had Davina's influence, though, because all of these people, she is making deals with them. She is influencing them, giving them offers, like with his Vec's father. Hey, he took me up on it. Like, he killed Vec's mother because Davina prompted it. Like, Davina prompted that. Kind of like the same setup she tried to do with Vec. Like, I'm sure maybe the mother looked like someone else. Maybe it was like she was tricked, kind of like Vec almost was.
Or maybe it wasn't even that. Maybe it was just, hey, kill her. And he's already so hopped up on murder.
Yeah. If you kill her, you'll be famous. You'll be this. You'll get that. Yeah.
Because I think she was like his 13th victim or something. Like he'd been doing
she was not early.
Time. No.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But she did. I mean, okay. So also, when it got to that point where Vec was presented with his moment, right? This is your choice moment. I never felt there was any chance that he would kill that guy, quote unquote, because it wasn't a guy. It was actually Sophia looking like she put a glamour over her, basically. But in that moment, I felt zero fear that he was actually going to kill him.
I had like a 10% thought, that she might be like, hey, kill him, and he'll just pick up the gun and shoot him in the head and then be like, all right, what's next? But like I had a brief moment of that and was like, no, that's not really his character arc, and this needs to be drawn out, so that's not gonna happen. But yeah, no, he was way more good than evil throughout this whole book, even though he was fighting the evil, so to speak. Like the good definitely outweighed the bad.
Yeah, like he just didn't. If I had to critique his character, there wasn't enough darkness, I don't think, to support the story she was trying to present with two halves, two shadows. You know what I mean? So he never came across to me as someone who could just go out and kill someone just because of whatever. So,
I mean, he believed it in that opening scene. And in that opening scene, as we already discussed, maybe I could see him grappling with the two halves. But I agree with you. Like after that, it was more him being good and saying, oh no, I am evil because I'm just like my father. Oh no, I have this evil inside of me. I'm going to do something bad. But then he never did anything bad.
Right.
You know, he didn't lie on the polygraph test. Even
No,
though
he didn't
told
even
him
plant
to.
anything. Like, he didn't do anything bad. It's like he didn't plant any, like, evidence. He didn't lie on anybody. Like, he didn't do anything that was in the gray. So it's like, and even in the beginning, he believed he might have done it, but he didn't really have a memory of doing it. So it's like,
yeah, he had no memory, and there's no evidence. There's no actual, like, substantive evidence to support that he killed him. He just believed that he was capable of it. And, you know, he went there with the intent to kill the serial killer. But other than that, no, he never did anything bad. It was always just, oh, my father is evil. Oh, there feels like there's evil in the mirror staring back at me.
Like, there's evil around, but I'm not evil. I'm not part evil, but there's a lot of it around me. That's what it kind of felt like. But I felt like he could have been a little bit more gray as far as, like, you know, being good or bad if he was fighting something internally, but he wasn't really. Not really.
Not the way that J.R. Ward was trying to make it with the two shadows and the soul being split, yin and yang, good and bad. Like, no, he was 80% really good, 20% just doubting his goodness.
It's almost like he should have had one shadow with, like, maybe a horn sticking out. I don't know. Like,
the devil horn.
Yeah, I mean, like, something, because he wasn't two different people. He was consistent as far as his character was concerned.
He was.
Even when he was mad at Sophia for just, like, giving him the kiss off, basically, he didn't act different. So
she believed Bales without any physical evidence.
Yeah.
Bales just told her, you know, hey, I saw this a year ago. He did something illegal, you know, and she's like, oh my God, yep, he's a serial killer. He's his dad. And I have to break up with him. I hate him. Like, we're done. I'm going to go rape his house. I'm going to tell everybody. Like, no. She's has to deal with a lot more good and bad and on the inside than him.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think that was a weak point. And I did want to mention the narrator again, Eric G. Dove. I think last time I told you I listened at 1.5. I actually kicked it up a notch. I listened at 1.8.
Oh, wow.
And after 10 minutes, it was normal. It sounded normal. He talks so slow in his normal cadence. It's unbearable.
Is that why it's 14 hours long?
Yes, because he talks so fucking slow. And I'm telling you, at 1.5 was good, but 1.8 was better. It was even better. And I could still hear, like, all the details, all the inflections of his voice. Because I gotta say, for a man with, like, you know, he has some tenor in his voice. Not necessarily bass, but he's got, like, that. He's got a good, strong male voice, but he doesn't have a deep voice, right? So when he does Davina, it's like, not falsetto exactly, but it's like this other voice, and I just die, especially when Davina has, like, her little hissy fits and she pouts. I just, like, want to roll over laughing. I'm like, Davina. He's like, you know, just the way he talks. It's so funny because it's not really falsetto, but it's definitely a couple octaves higher. It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. But I do like it. I like it. I don't know what about. I just think that I've gotten used to his voice.
To it at some point.
Yes, definitely. Okay, anyone that has not listened to this at all, if you try it on audio, start automatically with 1.5.
Okay.
Automatically. He talks that slow. And then if you can tolerate it, go up to 1.8. And when you, after you listen to that for about 30 minutes and then you go back to 1, you're going to be like, oh my God. Whoa. Yes, because people's natural cadence is never that slow. Never. So I'm like, why is he so slow? I don't know.
Maybe he's a Southern man. They're pretty slow.
I don't know, but he doesn't have any Southern twang in his voice, or if he has it, he's hiding it really well, you know?
Mhm.
But yeah, he's a good narrator, you know? Overall, this, with exception of the speed, you know, I'm
Uh-huh.
in it. Like, I like everything. It's like, and when you hear like people calling Davita bitches on the audiobook, I'm like, bitch, that's how I know the tone. He's like, bitch, I will never. I'm like, oh, I got the tone. I'm like,
But
dang. Oh, I love it. It's hilarious that I just love that the characters are calling her all kind of bitches. I don't know. I just love
Mhm.
those parts. It just sticks with me.
It's great.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
really is.
it's a fun time. So what else? Did we have to cover anything else, or do you think we got the highlights?
I think we got the highlights. This was a big book, but I think we got the highlights. I miss Butch. I think Dog is God.
Yeah.
I love that the envy was the angels and the demons, and I cried when Eddie died. Like
Oh,
it was so sad.
no
It
crying for
was
me, but I
really,
did feel bad for him. My oh,
I want him to come back.
yeah, yeah.
Eddie, oh, Adrian can actually sing. I know that's not like a really important detail,
Oh
but in the
yeah.
books, he was always, had a shitty voice.
Hmm.
And then after Eddie died, Jim heard singing and he's like, what the fuck is that? I don't have a radio. When it was Adrian, he's like, I thought you couldn't sing. And Adrian's like, yeah, no, I just did that to
I
piss
just do
him
it to
off.
piss you off. Yeah, he was singing that song "Calling All Angels." You know that song? I can
Mhm.
actually hear it in my head when they started talking about that song. I'm like, oh, that song.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
good song.
like oh, that's sad.
He definitely loved Eddie.
He loved Eddie. I'm like,
They
oh,
they were together for 4 centuries.
I
If you
know.
person by that point, like that person is your other half, no matter who they are. You're
It's a
together that
long time to be with someone. They're
mm-hmm.
like their family, right? So they had a weird dynamic to me still. They're family, they're like brothers, they're best friends,
And
and kind of
lovers.
lovers, but not officially, right? Only to blow off steam,
Yeah. Get drunk, have a threesome, you
jerk
know,
someone off, you know. It's
you do
kind of
you.
weird, but okay. I'll just roll with it because y'all were together for so long. It's complicated. It's complicated.
And now it's over, which is really sad.
Yes. So let's rate the thing. Let's rate NV, book 3.
Book
Would you
3.
like to go first?
Sure. I'm
Okay.
giving it 4 stars again. I'm enjoying the series. I'm enjoying all of it. I love the pacing, even though it's a really thick book. J.R. Ward does a great job with the pacing and the characterization, and everybody feels real, and it never feels like it lags. And there's nothing that I would cut. There might be a couple spaces where I might expand a bit more, but and the love between Sophia and Vec felt very real. It felt very organic. I feel like they're going to stay together forever to the end, unless she decides to not trust him anymore. But no, they feel like they belong together. So
Yes.
yeah, solid 4 stars. Highly recommend.
Yes.
I love the series, and I cannot wait for the rest of the series. Like I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Yay. I am with you on the 4 stars. It's a solid, strong 4 stars. I am fully invested in this series. I've got to see how it ends. I want to see who wins the next round because at the very end, it was revealed that we got a little, surprise that, Jim will deal with someone he's dealt with before. He gets a second chance. Spoiler. He gets a second chance to go around with Matthias.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
forgot about that.
that was the round he lost. But something's going to happen where he has to deal with him again. So how's that going to work? Who knows?
Oh, it's going to be so good.
It's going to be good.
Can't start today. I'll start.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So I am fully vested. I really love the Angel characters. I really like Jim as, you know, the player of the game, or, you know, the main linchpin in the game. I love his interactions with Davina. Oh my God. I can feel the hate. I feel the hate.
Yes.
Oh my God. He would stab her 50 times in the face if he could. He would.
Just over and over and over again.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm feeling all the emotions. And I feel like the couples are getting better. And yeah, I'm down for it. So I also too recommend this series, especially seeing little bite-sized pieces of the BDB world here and there. If you're a fan of those, you know, Black Dagger Brotherhood books, you should hop on over here and get on this train, because you're going to be like, it's going to be fun for you to see those little bits.
I didn't read this series back when I was reading Black Dagger Brotherhood, but now that I'm reading this, I'm like, why? Why did I wait? And now I want to go back and read Dark Lover over, and, you know, the first 5 books, and maybe skip around after that. But
yes, and especially if you're caught up with the BDB series, because if you are current, spoiler alert, if you are current with that series, Davina shows her ass over there. She shows up. The crossover is official, like official crossover. Her ass is over on that series. So if you are definitely caught up and you're curious about origins of Davina and Davina as a character, you should come back over here and read what she did before. So there's that. Let me just lay that there.
Just lay it there.
Yes. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we're done. What do you think, Casey?
I think we're done. I think it's time for the after show.
Yes. So we are going to end things there, guys. Again, if you'd like to check out the after show, it's available right now on Patreon. You'll have to head on over and sign up. And of course, join us for book club if you'd like to talk about this book with us live or express your own feelings about this book. Join us. We'd love to have you. And if book club isn't your thing, don't worry. We will be right here next month to talk about the next book. And you could just hear us talk about it because we love it. We love talking about it.
We do.
We really do. Yes. So the links for everything are on the show notes. And we will see you guys next time. Until then, take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.
Cloud is powering tomorrow's transformative missions. Federal agencies are partnering with SAIC to help them meet these critical moments, where bold moves require confident blueprints, where you can accelerate transformation through consistency, where you can innovate forward and never look back. SAIC quickly and securely migrates large-scale workloads to the cloud with the confidence you need to assure your mission. Learn more at saic.com/cloud.
Sattva Customer Service, how may I help you?
Hi, is it true that Sattva delivers to any room in the house?
Correct.
Really? Even to a treehouse with spiral stairs?
Yep.
Or an underground man cave?
Yep.
What about a research library hidden behind a painting that can only be accessed with facial recognition?
Sattva's free white glove delivery, setup, and old mattress removal works for all rooms.
Impressive. Get $200 off your purchase of $1,000 or more at sattva.com/200.